Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and it's time for this week's meta report. We're going to go over the most powerful weapons that were used this weekend in Trials of Osiris during Exodus Blue. And no, if you're looking at this clip, your eyes do not deceive you. I actually ricochet around a sniper shot using my Antaeus wards and actually hit the sniper in the head by sliding and aiming towards him. You can see that right there, but let's put that down and let's focus on the stats here. And here we have it, the stats from this weekend. This is Exodus Blue, and the number one weapon used this weekend was, of course, the Hardlight. The Hardlight is the king of the Crucible currently. It takes the top 5 spots out of 6, the only time being unthroned once and put in the second spot during Widow's Court. This weekend being a more shotgun-heavy map, Exodus Blue has a lot of tight corners, a lot of buildings with narrow hallways, and shotguns definitely became a lot more prevalent this weekend. As we can see, Mindbender's Ambition is the number 2 weapon used here, and this is the real kicker right here. The number 3 weapon was actually the Summoner, which totally surprises me that the Summoner continues to rise up on the charts, especially when the Hardlight is there in the exact same slot, the exact same weapon archetype, RPM, and everything. It's just exotic, and it has the intrinsic perk of doing double damage and infinite no range drop off, but it kind of makes sense on this map. On this map, you didn't really need the Hardlight you couldn't really fully optimize the Hardlight's maximum range, and it wasn't really necessary, so the Summoner is, with a God roll, a little more stable and can have the perk Rampage on it, so getting a kill can, give you a higher time to kill when getting the next kill. And so I can definitely see why the Summoner did so well this weekend, and I find it really interesting. I want to see how well the Summoner is going to do in the following weekends, and maybe the Summoner could potentially even surpass the Hardlight. Maybe people will realize that the Summoner is not to be slept on, and it continues to rise in the meta. So if you're out there watching, make sure you look for that dynamic sway reduction rampage roll of the Summoner. That thing is nasty. The number 4 most used weapon was the Revoker. On a very shotgun heavy map, the Revoker's still hanging in there, top 4 spot. Of course, the most powerful sniper, not because of any reason other than its pinnacle PvP perk, giving it back ammo when you miss a shot. The 5th one is the Astral Horizon, which doesn't surprise me at all. This is the most powerful kinetic shotgun in the game. 6th slot goes to Sura's Regime, my favorite auto rifle. You see me using this a lot in my videos, on my stream. I really like this. Its time to kill is insane once it gets ramped up, so if you pre-fire a little bit, you can just totally melt people. Also, it does really well to hold down hallways. Like if you're trying to get a res, a lot of people don't think about this, but if you're trying to get a res, and you know that an enemy is going to come around a corner or peek a hallway while you're trying to get the res, if you start firing the Suros and get that res, the enemy's like, I don't know if I actually want to slide that corner anymore. I don't know if I want to come around the corner when that guy's got a fully ramped up Suros. If you time it right, where you're reviving someone, you're holding the revive button as you're ramping up that Suros, pre-firing it where you think they might peek. It's really, really good for getting revives. It scares, it intimidates the enemies. So definitely think about that next time you consider which weapon you're going to use in your primary slot. The Bastion makes it into the number 7 slot, which is crazy. The Bastion continues to rise up. As we can see here, the Bastion was number 10 week 2. Week 4, Bastion's number 10. Week 5, Bastion's number 9. And now Bastion rises up to the number 7 spot, which is crazy. More and more people are starting to realize the power of the Bastion. This thing is super lethal. This is like the new Lord of Wolves of the season. Obviously not as powerful as Lord of Wolves, but it's extremely powerful. Don't sleep on this weapon. Super, super strong. And I imagine I could see some people rocking a Bastion and a Summoner combo. In fact, I might even try that now that I think about it. And the number 8 spot goes to the Dust Rock Blues, which I've raged about this before, but why? Why are people... Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why?
Why? Why is the Dust Rock Blues in the top 10 still? The Astral Horizon is better in every way. It must just be that so many people farmed the Dust Rock Blues from back in the day that when they're looking for a kinetic shotgun, they don't have the Astral Horizon yet, or they don't have the God Roll, so they're going back to the Dust Rock Blues, but it's not the wave. It's not the option. If you can, get yourself an Astral Horizon. It's better in every way. To compare, using the Dust Rock Blues over using the Astral Horizon would be like using the Retold Tale over the Mindbender's Ambition. You just don't see that. You don't see in the numbers here at all. In any weeks of the trials, you don't see the Retold Tale being used over the Mindbender's Ambition. It's not due to the archetype. It's not due to any weapon perks. It's not due to impact or hit detection or anything. It's purely just, in my opinion, the Dust Rock Blues is being used because it was a popular shotgun in the Connect slot, and people don't have the Astral Horizon yet. But if that's not the case, let me know in the comments. But I swear, Dust Rock Blues needs to get out of the top 10. Number 9, Beloved drops really low here. Of course, not a very sniper heavy map. Makes perfect sense why the Beloved would be this low, but it still is the best sniper if you're not trying to rock a Revoker. Strongest sniper in the game. And the number 10 spot. This is a sad day. Pour one out for the hand cannon users, alright? This is a sad day. We might see next week no hand cannons in the top 10. Think about that. The Trials of Osiris Destiny 2 meta does not even contain a hand cannon in the top 10. That would be unbelievable. That would be crazy. The auto rifles have truly taken over. If you're complaining about hand cannon users at all, you are way off in outer space, because hand cannons are fallen by the wayside. Auto rifles are up. Stonks are up for auto rifles. Everyone's rocking them, and hand cannons have now fallen. There's no hand cannons in the entire top 10 except the 10th spot, which is the spare rations, which has drastically lower than the rest of the weapons here. 581,000 kills with the spare rations. So the spare rations is still really strong, though. I myself am finding that I'm using a Suros more and more and more, and this weekend I'm going to try and rock that summoner a little bit more, because I do have some pretty good rolls. But I'm starting to put the hand cannon away a little bit more and pick up the auto rifle. Not because I necessarily want to, but because I feel like the weapon is so much stronger and I almost like have to. So I'm finding that I'm using autos a little bit more than I want to myself. But let me know what you're using in the Crucible. Let me know what you think about the meta report. Let me know what you think about the stats. We had 245,000 players this weekend, which is up by 10,000. We'll see what happens next weekend. If the map selection isn't as desirable, we might see the first dip below 200,000 players. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. I want Trials to grow. I want Trials to flourish. But in its current state, there's a lot of hackers. There's a lot of cheaters. There's a lot of DDoSers. And there's a lot of problems in Trials right now. So the community isn't entirely happy about the current iteration of Trials of Osiris. But that's for another video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. This is the Meta Report. I'm Lucky. Later.